All right, guys, welcome to Anema Movie Reviews. We are now about to discuss the Pod Generation. I seen this a couple days ago, and my wife just went to go see it today. And I've been quite eager, as you guys, if you've seen the my reviews rather. I'm sorry, you've seen that I was very eager to do this discussion, and it doesn't seem as if she is. So let's dive right in, man. What did you think?
Overall, I thought it was okay. It gave you a different perspective on becoming a parent.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that I was just like, oh my God, I gotta go see this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't.
No. Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and tell you, because I don't think you've seen my review yet. I did not recommend for anyone to go to the theater to see this movie.
Okay.
I thought it was more of an Apple TV
You should have told
Plus
me
type of movie.
that you didn't recommend this.
How are we going to get this discussion, man? No, it's not that I didn't recommend that you watch the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't recommend that you go in your pocket and go see it. I think it's something that you can wait on. I do think people should watch it. For me, it had so many. I have to say, it had so many undertones to it.
It did.
It had a lot to it, such as like I said, I was alluding to earlier, like women's rights of their bodies. The whole purpose of them, I won't say it was the true purpose. Pegasus, which is the company that did it, they purpose is money, greed, of course.
Definitely.
But the whole way that they were able to sell the idea was to give women their freedom of their careers,
right.
Give women their lives back,
mm-hmm.
right, so to speak. So don't let a child trap your body, but you should still have a child,
right?
You know, because we still got to have more people to feed off of and stuff. So
Absolutely.
We still need humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But definitely don't do it, quote unquote, the natural way.
Right.
But what's unnatural about it? This y'all, that's what I'm saying. This to me at least, I thought it was very thought provoking. At best, right? Mm-hmm. I certainly think that, and I couldn't really speak on it because I don't really know. Like, you see that she was having problems with you remember when she felt that the other woman's
yes.
stomach. So obviously she felt some type of way, right? So obviously she felt as if, hey, maybe I should have done this naturally. It was never said.
I think from the beginning, it came off as if she wanted to have a natural childbirth anyway, or at least the mm-hmm. pregnancy part, right? It seemed as if that was always her dream. In every dream, she was actually mm-hmm. physically pregnant. So I don't know if there was some infertility issues as to why she just couldn't get pregnant. And she chose to go this route because they really didn't address it. However, based off of her dreams, she did want a natural pregnancy versus the womb center pod baby.
But so what do you think made her decide to go ahead and have the baby? Now we know that Alvy was against it the entire time. He was against it, and it's funny because it flip-flops. It flip-flops because she was the one that was, don't get me wrong, their love never waned for one another. I thought that it was going to go that way for a second, mm-hmm. where they were going to possibly talk about divorce or something, but that never occurred.
Right. There
was tension for sure, but it never occurred that they thought that they weren't going to be there for one another. Mm-hmm. But love allowed him to overcome his desires to please his wife. Right. You know, I mean, well, his what's the word I'm looking for? Disdain for the current system, which as you guys know, that the system it's like real artificial. We lean so much on artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence cooks our food, makes our coffee, tells us when we should pee, tells us when we should defecate.
That little jazzy AI that they had running their house when she asked him about the coffee.
And she took the coffee away from him?
Yes.
I'm telling you guys
and
that
burnt his toast.
this stuff can you think that this stuff
I
can
know
come.
that it's easily
I'm
going to go
telling
there.
you.
I can see everything about that movie actually coming into fruition. Am I saying that right?
Fruition.
Flu. I'll put a flu in there. Anyway, fruition. Sooner rather than later.
Sooner rather than later. Same exact wording I believe that I use. I'm telling you, man.
It is so realistic. Because
it's scary. It's so realistic. It's scary to think
because
of.
I have already heard of people being able to determine the sex of their child at this point, and so when
she said,
when
she had her nose up about it.
Right.
That's so cute.
Right.
Naturally. Oh, that's so cute. No one does that.
Right.
Like they decided that they were going to let it occur. If it's going to be a boy, it's going to be a boy. If it's going to be a girl, heck, she was at the point where she was like, we don't even need the father's DNA.
Right.
Unless it was
going to be a boy. Yep.
But she didn't care about having no boys in the world.
We can create a child just with your eggs.
Seemed like she wanted just a life of women or something. This chick was crazy, man. This chick was crazy. However, another good undertone again was the being able to compromise and stick together and relinquishing on some things sometimes.
Right.
So, like I said, Alvy was not game for this plan at all of having a child in artificial womb.
Right.
He was not game for it whatsoever, and but again, I repeat, he relented. Mm-hmm. He relented because he loved his wife.
Right.
And again, but in that relenting, the side effect of that was this. The child was able to spend time, in the womb, of course, the child was able to spend time with Alvy more than with she, right?
Right.
And I'm losing her name at the moment, more than with her. Mm-hmm. And what happened was Rachel. And so what happened was, because of that, she actually didn't feel connected to this child.
Right.
And what I find odd about that, and when I'm looking at the undertone there, it's a side effect, because there's always going to be side effects to us losing our quote unquote natural way.
Right.
The side effect to that was she didn't have that connection to her child. Well, during that time period. Doesn't mean that when they had the baby she wasn't gonna have one, but during that time period, she was referring to it as the egg, and he was like, "Oh, this is my child." Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? She, he kept having to correct her, like, "What's going on? You were the one that wanted me to do this," but he was spending time and he was taking the child to the park before the child came in. You know what I'm saying?
In the sandbox.
And then when somebody wanted to go play with it, you think, whoa, wait a minute. And she even lied to him at one point, talking about it needed to go back to the center. Now, I don't know if it was a complete lie, but there still was an option of them, I think at that time, keeping the child with them.
They still had
she
more
wanted
time.
She wanted to go back, because if you remember, when she went to work, what happened was when she went to work, the boss didn't like the fact that she brought the child to the job and said, place it in this rack, right? And at the job, so to be out of the way, we don't want you distracted. And that's when she decided, because shortly thereafter, she decided that she was going to send the child back to the womb center, nature. What do they call it? Nature? No, not the nature pod. The nature center.
The womb center. That's what it was called, a womb something.
It may have been the womb center. Anyway, she decided that. So we tackled that as well. It was something else I really wanted to refer to. The fact that the AI tried to convince him her that you wouldn't say that you spoke to a artificial therapist. Yep. So who would say that? So if you didn't speak to an artificial therapist, then this isn't an artificial child. or an artificial way of going about it, or whatever the case may be. This is real, which kind of makes sense, but at some aspects you kind of taking liberties there,
right?
You know, and that's scary. That's another scary thought.
The scary moment dealing with that, the therapist AI, when they brought the egg or the pod to the therapy session, and the AI said, "Let me connect to the pod," and I was heck no.
But they didn't. I don't think that they allowed it.
They did.
But see, that's one of my qualms with this film. It left so much to. I don't personally like that. I'm not one for when you watching a story that they leave so much to the imagination. I don't care for the hanging. Like they did that throughout the entirety of this film. At least I felt as if scenes felt unfinished.
Right.
Like I know it must have been a style they were going for, or the writing style or whatever, but I hated it. I was like, finish a thought. It's like if I start a sentence and anyway, we gonna you know, what are you doing? Finish a thought. Maybe there were moves, but I've never seen it used this much, at least, that they did not finish thoughts throughout. Right. It was almost darn near 80-something% of the film was like a hang.
Right.
A cliffhanger. Like
you just automatically moved to something else without
finishing what the heck you were just. It was weird. So again, I don't get me confused. I'm not saying that you guys need to, oh man, this is a must-see, or this was such a great film. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
I'm just simply saying that it's very interesting and thought-provoking, and
it is.
And I think that it deserves a watch. You know, I say all the time, people put a lot of effort into to this, and they just want somebody to come back and say, "Hey, I appreciated it."
Right.
You know, that's all.
Like we said before, I think it really gives light to what is possibly
to come,
more than likely gonna happen.
We already have artificial wombs.
Right.
I've read it. I read articles on that.
Like I said, you can already choose the sex of your baby.
I didn't even know about that, but that's not even surprising.
Right. So
gene manipulation.
Right. A lot of this is going to come to pass. You know, the whole smart home thing is something that's already being done anyway. So a lot of this movie is based on what's coming. And it's scary that that's what we're coming to in this day and age.
I agree, man. I agree 100%.
I also thought on my way back home, was this movie supposed to give somewhat of a light
post Roe v. Wade?
No, I didn't. Actually, I didn't.
Well,
even
let me
stop
interrupting. Then I'm so sorry because I
didn't know if it was supposed to be more so of how a man's perspective of how we currently carry a child and bond and connect. Is this more so of a guy's point of view?
Wow, that's literally what I said. I felt if this was more of a more of the male perspective. I did appreciate that they didn't necessarily make this all about the female perspective.
Right.
The trailers kind of felt that way, but it seemed to be more of a story of Alvy. If I'm being honest, it seems to be him leaning into artificial intelligence, overcoming it, but not sacrificing his love for nature.
Right.
Finding that balance between the two. Finding the good within the evil, so to speak. It seems to be him a story of love. Him still showing his wife love and support no matter what. How to deal with disappointment. How to deal with shame, because they people try to shame him.
Right.
You know, not major shame, but they tried to shame him. Like shamed him about his house, his father-in-law. Talking about you need to sell the house because nobody goes to the nature. I mean, these fools are in this movie jumping in pods and going to the beach. I ain't never seen it. What kind of foolishness is this?
Not even that. What got me was the part that we are they were literally paying for fresh air.
Yeah.
They
Oh
were
my
putting
God.
a mask on just to get fresh air.
They, with a plant inside of the thing, like they hitting a bomb.
Right.
Whew, oxygen. Like,
and they had to pay
that's
for
sad.
what is free.
I told you, how many times have I told you they gonna make us pay for air next?
Oh yeah.
I told you greed. When greed is at the helm, anything is possible.
Right.
Any kind of evil you can think of is possible when you allow greed to permeate in a society.
Right.
And that's what we have, especially here in America. With the free market system is nothing but greed. But that's a conversation not meant for this channel, but our podcast channel, which you guys can can see. Just type in Enamored Podcast.
Good luck. Going back to, you said women's rights. You brought that up before.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a significance in that when it came towards the end, when it was about time for the pod to be born.
Okay.
And they were like, basically, we're going to have a home birth. And she was like, no, well, you can't do that. You have to have a code and all this, that, and the third. Even in our society today, there are a lot of medical professionals that try to steer women away from that choice of being able to have home births.
Mm-hmm.
Or even be at birthing centers. They prefer that they are in a hospital. You wait till your water break and you go to the hospital.
Well, that's one of those things that I can understand, and then I also see where you're going though. I understand what they're saying because I don't know if you guys probably don't know, but I love Grey's Anatomy. So I've watched so many episodes now. And Arizona and Karev and everything that can go wrong in childbirth, that I can understand why they would want someone to be at the hospital when giving birth. However, you do have a right with a midwife to go to the house and have birth.
Right.
And
they have midwives, doulas.
We have been doing birthing outside of a hospital since the beginning of time because there weren't no hospitals.
Right.
And now all of a sudden. We got to go to the hospital.
Right.
I think that also has to do with that bill that you're going to get.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
There's a bill that comes along with going to that hospital that is darn near unattainable. Heck, I still may be paying on that one up there. So who knows? Anyway, the point is there is a bill that comes along with that stuff. Right. Man. So like I said, it's greed. Mm-hmm. It's definitely greed, man.
And it showed all throughout this movie.
And it's so many other places I want to go with this conversation. I told you this was spark conversation. You just got to get started. There's so many other places I want to go with this conversation, but I am not going to do that because that would be getting a little bit away from the movie and doing one of my ADHD numbers.
Oh yeah.
Let's go ahead and end right here. And I thank you all for joining us, man. I really do. If you like what you heard, hit that subscribe button. That notification bell as well. Thank you.